Hi everyone. I was just thinking a minute before I started this video that as HSPs, we kind of have a double-edged sword, so to speak, in that because we're more easily stimulated and aroused because we recognize subtleties in our environment and our nervous systems are so tuned into things, we get more, I guess you could call activated, or sometimes the amygdala, the primitive brain gets more charged up. And at the same time as HSPs, we also have, I feel like, a unique ability to be able to enter into a meditative state and settle ourselves down. It reminds me a little bit of something that botanists have found, where they found that within a few yards of almost every poisonous plant in nature, you can also find the antidote to that plant. So we carry within us what you could call the antidote to some of the challenges that we have as HSPs. One thing I love about that is that it enables us to really shift from an over-aroused state to a calm, settled state. In other words, to shift from the fight and flight nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, into our rest and digest nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. And one of the things I really like to teach in the support groups that I run are simple tools, simple techniques that you can do on the fly, literally within minutes or seconds even, to calm your nervous system, which at this time of year is even particularly useful. And so today I thought I would share with you a very simple, easy tool that I teach in my groups, kind of let you in on some of what happens in there. And this is something that has a little special part to it. There are two parts to it. One might be very familiar to you, and it involves an imaging meditation where we visit in our imaging a place that we've been to that feels physical, location that feels very safe, relatively safe anyway, and comfortable, where we feel calm. But then there's kind of a little extra piece to it that is rarely included in these kind of meditations, which is, I would call, the trick that makes it work, that you can actually do it on the fly. And I'll get to that in a minute. But first, for a second, I want to tell you a little bit about where this, what I'm calling the trick, comes from. And it actually comes from Ericksonian hypnotherapy, Ericksonian hypnosis. I don't know how many of you know about Milton Erickson. He was an amazing psychiatrist in the mid-20th century. He died in 1980. He was the founder of what's called Ericksonian hypnotherapy, which I practiced for many, many years, and really can help people go deeply into their unconscious mind and make long-lasting shifts. And he was a main influencer of many forms of therapy that came later, including neuro-linguistic programming, which is often called NLP. And this little trick actually is something that was carried over into NLP. And it's called an associational cue. So before I tell you about the associational cue, while I'm talking, you might want to take a minute to see what comes to you when you think about a place, a physical place that you've been to, that when you go there, you feel relatively safe, secure, at peace. Now, for many people, this might be a place in nature. It could even be a place in your own house, a place where you grew up. So just take a moment now to see what comes to you, what you want to use, knowing that when you practice this on your own, you can change the place, and if there's one that comes to you, that's even better later on. So I'm going to go through this pretty briefly for the sake of this short video, and then you can fine-tune it later and actually go more deeply. So once you have the place, I'm going to now show you this associational cue, which is really a very simple thing. It's basically taking two fingers, you can use either of your hands, just take two fingers on one of your hands and touch them together. Now it's really, I'm using my thumb and my second finger, but you can use any two fingers you want that feel comfortable to you. It's really not important which fingers you use. So at some point during this little visualization, I'm going to ask you to touch your two fingers together, and they could just be relaxed on your lap. I just have my hands up for the purpose of showing you what that's like. And the beauty of this is that touching those two fingers together is going to be associated with the calm, supportive feeling that you have in the meditation, that you have when you go to this special safe place. And then later on, you'll be able to very easily return to that spot without even having to do the meditation, but simply by touching those fingers together, because your body-mind will have associated the two experiences together, the hand gesture and the meditative state. So I'm just going to rather briefly lead you through into connecting with this safe place. And some of you may have done this before, this part of it. It's not an uncommon visualization, of course. So take a moment to just allow your body to settle, and our body already knows how to relax. Just let your body kind of settle down into an easy place. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just something that feels comfortable to you right now. Now take a moment to tune into this location that you're wanting to use. And just notice what you'd see around you while you're there. The forms, the shapes, the colors. The objects. And then you might notice what position you might be in. I mean, are you going to be on a chair? Are you going to be lying down? Are you on the ground, standing up? So just feel yourself in that position, looking around. And notice what sounds you might hear in the background. They may be subtle, but just letting those sounds float in. And then notice what fragrances or smells might be there. They may be also subtle. Taking a moment to imagine yourself breathing in those smells. It's like an aromatherapy. Enjoying settling in to this space. And now, if you like, you can add anything to this space that you want. If it feels like there's an addition that would help you to feel even more relaxed or at peace or comfortable here. Letting yourself just sink deeper into this soothing place. And when you feel here in this place, just take those two fingers together, touching them together, and relax into the space for a moment or two. A deep breath might come naturally. And as you're here, I might talk to you a little bit. You can leave your eyes closed if they've been closed, or you can open them. One of the nice things about this is, of course, you can use it at any time. You can be even in a conversation with somebody and using it. I've even used it while I'm driving. You can use it before you go into a challenging situation, during one, or after. And I would start off by practicing it again a few more times on your own so that it really intensifies. Because the more you practice that, the stronger it gets and the easier it is for you to access that place on its own. And then I would start off with some easy situations. I wouldn't take a 100-pound weight. I would take maybe like a 1-pound weight situation and just play with using it. And as you use it, it will get easier and easier and stronger and stronger. And just as a side note, something about this that's interesting is that really what we're doing is accessing a calm, supportive place inside of ourselves. We're using an outside cue, an outside memory to help really bring forth a calm place that's already here inside of ourselves. So it's also nice to know that we have that resource and that ability to do that. So, my dear HSP friends, I hope you find this helpful, and it's also helpful, of course, for people that aren't HSPs. Let me know how it works for you. I'd love to hear how you like it or any ways that you've used it on your own creatively. Okay, take care. I'll see you soon.